Well, here we are. We drove from Nankura, and then 5 hours later, we are at the Sarova camp, and that is in the Masai Mara region. And we are in tents. They are very large. We have a nice porch out in front where we can sit there and relax and look over the scenery and read a book, and it's covered in case it rains. We're okay. And the tents inside are very large, 2 beds, and there's a makeup table and a couple of dressers and a trunk. The trunk is to put anything in case the monkeys get in the tent by accident. We're supposed to keep it zipped up very tight, but you know, sometimes there's an accident, and if they smell any kind of oranges or candies, they're going to be running all over the place trying to get them. So we will be careful about that. And the tent has an attached bath and shower. So we're all set. I met 2 young men that are working here, just by accident on the bridge, and the one said, "Are you a Christian?" And I said, "Yes, I'm a Christian." I said, "Are you?" And he says, "Oh yes, I'm a born-again Christian." And so I said, "Well, wait a minute, I've got something for you." His name was Joe Makuro, and the other guy's name was Jerry. I don't know what, I couldn't understand what he said. Anyway, I said, "I've got something for you, Joe." And I got one of those things that I give to the kids and the ladies. It's a mirror, and on the back of it, it says, "God loves you." And I gave it to him, and he's looking at it. He just read that God loves you, you know, and then I said, turn it over, turn it over. Turns it over, sees himself, great big smile, and then I gave one to the other guy. He said to me, "I'm a Christian also." And I said, "Okay, I'll see if I can find one for you." So they when I left, they were both smiling. Then this morning when we left the place, George, I stopped and saw him, and I gave him some trinkets for his son. And I showed him the Chinese finger pull to give to his son. When I stick my finger in, he sticks his finger in, and if we try to pull away, of course, the material of the Chinese pull, we can't pull our fingers out. And then I showed him how then you push your fingers together, and then they'll slide out easily. Well, when I left him, he and another waiter had a finger each in the pull, and they were laughing, and they were slapping their knees. Such fun. So now what we're going to do is we're going off for a drive. Well, we're back. Well, we've gone on 2 drives since then. The first drive that we had yesterday, last night, we saw 21 lions. It was unbelievable. We just couldn't. First we saw 11 in a group, and then later on 2 and 1 and 2. Oh, it was so wonderful. And they were all sleeping. It was afternoon. They were getting the last rays of the sun, and they were sleeping. And they just lay there, and their head feet up in the air, and they'd have paws over the next partner next to them, and then laying their head on somebody else's butt. And it was just, they just moving around. The only thing, their ears kept twitching because the flies were bothering them. Once in a while, they'd open up their eyes and they'd yawn, and then they'd move over and roll over to another position. It was so cute. We never expected to see so many. Then also, now this afternoon, this morning, we saw 11 female lions, and they were moving around walking, and then later on, we saw one huge male lion, but he was asleep. We saw 30 elephants with 6 babies. We saw 36 topi antelopes, and they had 13 babies with them. 2 hyenas, and they walked away when we came, and it just happened that we parked right next to where their den was, we didn't know that. We just parked the car and was looking at them, and all at once here we saw two babies in the grass. And their head would come up and they'd look and then they'd go back down again, and they'd stay so quiet. And then all at once you'd see little ears coming up and they look, but they stayed there. They didn't move. And Mama was walking around out there and looking at us and looking at us. And then we left.